Hi everyone, I'm Zahara Rasheeda. I have created some practical questions of web programming and database management. So today I'm going to explain you the 10th question of database management. And I have explained you the other 9 questions of database in my previous videos. If you haven't watched the previous lessons, I kindly request you to watch my previous videos. Otherwise, it is hard for you to understand without the basic knowledge. Okay, now let's go to the 10th question. Here they have said, Graphically Central College was the only active school in the area during the war season. There were only 50 students in the school. Also, there were only 5 teachers and one of them was the principal of the school. The principal decided to add all students' details in a student attendance marking system, so he would be able to mark the attendance after the main morning assembly at once. Think you are a reputed database engineer and the principal requests to make a database while another developer is developing the system. The details have been given below. So here they have said there is a school called Graphically Central College, which is the only active school in the area during the war season. So there were only 15 students in the school and there are 5 teachers and one of them was the principal in school. So the principal have decided to make an attendance marking scheme. So we have to imagine that you are the reputed database engineer and the principal requests you to make the database while another developer is developing the system. So this is the database that they have given us. Create a database name Graphically School and insert these data to the tables graphically. So that means we should create a database called Graphically School and we should insert the data to the table graphically. So this is the first question that we should answer. For this, to create the database, I will use an official graphical user interface tool called MySQL Workbench. To create a new model, I will go to File and New Model. To create a new database, I will double click here and I can name my database as Graphically School. And I will click Rename Reference. Now when you double click upon the add diagram, this is the ER diagram that you are going to create. So first of all, before entering the data, we have to create the 4 tables. One is student and one is grade, village and the transport. First I will create the student table. For that I will use this icon and when I double click this, I can edit the table. I will give the table name as student. So we need the number, name, birthday. To the birthday, I will give the data type as date So here we have created the student table. And next I will create the grade, village and the transport. And I will create the transport table. Give the table name as transport. So this is how I have created the three tables. Now I will connect. Now I will make the relationship between them. Now I have created the tables. Now I will create a one-to-many relationship between the tables. Okay, so you can see the primary key has a so you can see the primary key which is in the grade table had been added as a foreign key in the student table. So I can rename this. I will rename the transport ID as transportation method. Okay, so this is how I have created the tables and the relationships between them. Now I can convert this diagram to a database. So for that, I will click the option database and I should choose the option forward engineering. So when you click the next button, okay, so now we have convert the diagram to a database. When we go to the HeidiSQL, here you can see the database has been created as Kibitigollava School. So these are the tables. When you go to the student table, you can see this is how we have created. So now we have to enter the data graphically for the tables. Okay, first I will enter the data to the grade table. I will double click the grade table. To add a new record, I will click this green button. So I have entered the data to the grade table. So now let's enter the data to the village table. So this is how I will create the village table. Now I will create the transport table. Okay, so now I have entered the data to the transport table also. Now we have to enter the data to the student table. So you can see when you create a relationship and add a foreign key, here you have to select the data. So our first record is complete. Now let's write the second record. Amal Pereira, 2007, 5th, 26. Now I will enter the last record. Okay, so now I have added all the data to the tables. So our question is complete. Now let's go to the next question. After you created the database, the principal wanted to check your database for bugs. He has given you some scenarios. Read them carefully and write the queries to get the results. So after we create the database, the principal needs to check whether there are bugs in the database. So he has given us some scenarios. So we should write the queries for it. Now let's read the first question. Select all students who study in grade 6. Use join queries. So we should select the students who is studying in grade 6, and for that we should use the join queries. So now let's write the query. First I will start. Select extract from student. Then I will give inner join grade on student dot, and I will give the column name equal the table, column name where grade, again the column name equals 6. To end the query, I will use the semicolon. Now let's see if the query is correct. I will execute the query by clicking this button. So you can see we have got all the data about the students who is in grade 6. So you can see the grade ID is 1. That means they are in grade 6. Now let's go to the second question. Select birthdays of the students who come from Padaviya by bus. So that means we should select the birthdays of the students who come by bus, who lives in Padaviya and come by bus. So we should select the birthdays of the students who come from Padaviya by bus. So for that I will write the query. Select student birthday from student where, begin the table name student dot, the column name we should give the village ID in, inside the brackets, select village ID from where ID equal 1 and student dot transportation method in select transport dot ID from transport where transport method equals, I must give the value 1. Here in the transport table, the value, here in the transport table, the value of the bus show. Here in the transport table, the ID 1 shows the bus. So they are asking in the question who comes by bus. So for that we will give the value as 1, and to end the query I will use the semicolon. So this is the query. Now let's see whether the query is correct. I will execute the query. So you can see we have got the birthdays of the students who comes from Padaviya and by bus. So you can see we have got the birthdays of the students who comes from Padaviya by bus. So our second question is complete. Now let's go to the third question. Select the names of the students who study at grade 9 and come from Mihintale on foot. So that means we should select the names of the students who studies in grade 9 and comes from Mihintale by foot. Now let's write the query. Select, I will give the table name student. So we should need, they are saying select the names of the students. So that means we should select the student name, from student dot, take the column name of the student table, the transport method, in, now we are writing the subquery, select transport dot id from transport where transport dot transport transportation method equal, the value should be foot. To end the query, I will use the semicolon. So you can see we should select the name. So in this query you can see first you should select the student name from the student table and the grade ID. So you should see from the student table where the grade ID, inside the brackets we have told select the ID from the grade table and the grade name should be 9, and again student we should take the village ID from the village table and the village name should be Mihintale and the transportation method should be foot. I will execute the query. So you can see there are two students who is in grade 9 come from Mihintale on foot. So our third question is complete. So this is how we should answer the 10th question. Hope you understood everything. If you are interested in the lesson, drop a like and feel free to drop your comment in the comment box. Don't forget to subscribe the Multicat channel. Thank you. Have a nice day.